Welcome back to the Alchemist Nation podcast. My name is Walter Murillo, and I get the pleasure of traveling all across the country virtually on this podcast, speaking to millionaires, multimillionaires, people who've really connected and built some great businesses. Today, I've got a special guest, Ken Walls, who has built friends with some powerful names, people who everybody you are paying attention to, are listening to right now. Grant Cardone, Steve Sims. Some of these names are household names for our community. So without further ado, Ken Walls, welcome to the show.
Dude, thanks for having me. This is exciting.
It's more exciting for me, Ken. You just stumbled across my network thanks to Charles Coachman.
Yeah.
And then I joined your mastermind. I jumped on your podcast, and how did you connect with so many amazing people? You've built this really cool gift and just database of really powerful, successful people. How did it start? Well, you didn't always have this Rolodex, right?
No, man, no. I've always been able to, I've been blessed, I guess, with the ability to connect with bigger people. I don't necessarily know why outside of, I live my life to genuinely help other people win bigger in life, to discover their own internal greatness. So, when I connect with somebody like Grant Cardone, who's a great guy, a good friend of mine, and I've helped him along the way, and he's helped me along the way. So I just shared this out. I'm sorry. I feel distracted. I'm looking over here trying to get everything shared out. But so I live to help other people, dude. And it's like Mark Victor Hansen, who's the #1 best-selling author on planet Earth with Chicken Soup for the Soul. Him and his amazing and beautiful wife, Crystal, are good friends of mine. But it didn't start that way. A friend of mine, Bob Donnell, introduced us and suggested that Mark come on my show. And so Mark immediately called me, left me his voicemail, and I have the voicemail. I'll never delete that, right? And so I'm like, my brain immediately went to, how can I help the #1 best-selling author of all time? How can I help him? I mean, I don't know if he's a billionaire or not, but he's done extremely well. And he hangs out with people like Richard Branson, and I'm like, how can I help a guy like that? And at the end of the day, I just talked to him like he's a normal human being, and I found some ways that I could help him. And that's getting them exposure and helping them get on, podcasts and shows, and helping them do what they want to do, and that's sell more copies of their current book called Ask: The Bridge from Your Dreams to Your Destiny. Fantastic book, by the way. But and over the course of the last year or so, I've developed a really good close friendship with them.
So that's Mark Victor Hansen. How did you get into Grant Cardone's phone book? Like, how you told me a story about Grant messaging you on Facebook. He was trying to figure out Messenger. How does something like that happen? How do you go from not knowing Grant to suddenly Grant is messaging you on Facebook on accident?
Well, Grant, I've known Grant. I signed up for Grant sales training for my salespeople back in 2014, and I loved his content so much. I was like, this dude is he's just a badass, and I'm like, I've got to figure out how to get on his radar. And the only way I could think of was, help him by promoting him and getting more and more and more people to know who he is, which is what he wants. He's like, there's 7.5 billion people on the planet, and I want them all to know my name, and so I'm like, let me help you with that, dude. And I mean, I didn't ask for permission. I just did it. And Grant said something in Undercover Billionaire that I thought was brilliant. And that is, number one. Well, he said a bunch of things that are brilliant, but one thing he said is, contacts turn into contracts, And the other thing he said is, if you can't get a seat at the table, then serve water to the table, serve drinks to serve the table. Like, what can you do to serve other people? And that is so overused, man. There are people that have no business being coaches that are coaching people, and it's almost like it's overused now. Like, everybody's a go to Clubhouse, man. Everybody's a freaking coach on Clubhouse. And so, like, you know, learn how to serve other people and really genuinely serve them from a good place in your heart, and not don't go at it like, what's in it for me, which everybody, I get that everybody has bills to pay. There's selfish motives behind everything, but um if you really go at it like from the perspective of, how do I serve other people, how do I, and that's what I did with Grant. I just started promoting the heck out of him. I put my assistant on a plane and flew her to Miami to deliver some private label wine bottles that I had made up with Grant and his wife Elena and the two girls on the on the label we designed. And and that's where it all kind of started for Grant and I. And yeah, so when I first reached out, though, I called the guy that signed me up for Cardone University, and I said, hey bro, I was doing some searching around. I do website development and search engine optimization stuff, and I said, I said, I need you to transfer me to Grant. And he goes, what? And I go, transfer me over to Grant. And he goes, that's not happening. I go, why, dude? I spend $1,000 a month with you guys. Come on, man. And he's like, bro, that's not happening. I was like, that's ridiculous. But so I just thought, okay, that's no for right now. That doesn't mean no forever. It means no for right now. I just have to figure out how to get on his radar. And I did.
Yeah, you got two really cool lessons there. The first is, if you can't get a seat at the table, serve the table. Go, be the
Yeah.
waiter, be the waitress at the table, and get access to the table. You don't have to sit down, but just
Yeah.
get some access, get your ear at the table.
That's it.
And
Yep.
and that concept of going and actually, like, first you felt it out. You said, hey, can I get Grant on the phone? You felt it out. Okay, that wasn't an option. It's not forever. It's just for right now. What can I do to be unique? You sent your assistant with custom glassware, custom wine with a
Yep.
label on it, like for him, very specific. Like, that's going to get him saying, wow, this is cool. This is different. Who is this guy? Who is this Ken Walls guy? And so how did it go from there? So you're promoting him, you're pushing him. How did you get, like, what was that first contact from that point?
Well, my assistant was in his office. Well, it's a long story. I won't go into the whole thing, but he was late getting to the office, later than he normally is, and my assistant's calling me and she's freaking out, and I'm freaking out because I literally had invested almost every dime I had to my name to do this. And but something was telling me, like, dude, you got to go all in on this. You got to figure out how to get on this guy's radar, because you can grow together. He can help you. And at the time, I didn't think, I mean, I was like, I didn't know I could help him, like, but and I obviously I haven't helped him as much as he's helped himself. He's killing it. But at the time, I was like, whatever it takes. Like, it just doesn't matter, whatever it takes. So she waited and waited and waited, and Grant and Elena walked into the lobby, and she's hey, Mr. Cardone, and he turns around. She goes, Ken Walls sent me down here to deliver these custom bottles of wine to you and your beautiful wife. And he was like, who's Ken Walls? And so he's like, come up. This when they were over on I think 6th Avenue in Miami. And he said, come upstairs with me. And they get in the elevator and go up. And Grant called me like 10 minutes later. He calls me on my cell phone, and he's like, is this Ken Walls? And I'm like, yeah. Is this Grant? I was freaking out. And he's like, yeah, man, this is the classiest thing anybody's ever done. And he put out a post on Facebook about it, and it just started going from there, man. And I was like, this is pretty cool to get on somebody's radar that is that. And Grant says something else too, and I love this. And he, everybody, the old saying of it's not um it's not what you know, but who you know, right?
Yeah.
That is not true. And Grant says it's not who you know, it's who knows you. And if you ask Grant Cardone, do you know Ken Walls? He would say, yeah, I know Ken. I love Ken. He's a good dude. And Grant knows me. He's got my cell phone number. I've got his. Mark Victor Hansen. If you ask him, I hope he'd say I'm a good guy. Excuse me. Um, sorry about that. But so, I know a lot of people now. I'm connected to a lot of people, and every day it just keeps getting better, man. And it's all because I genuinely want to help other people, man. I really truly do. And once you get that sense in your heart, when you can get out, because look, I've been selfish. There's many times and probably every day of my life that I have selfish thoughts and then selfish actions, but for the most part, my life is about helping other people. How can I help you move the ball down the field a little bit further in your life?
I love that. Your whole vibe is very much blue fishing, right? Steve Sims, like that
Yeah,
whole go out and add value. And you and I were just talking about that before the podcast, where you've actually met Steve Sims. Like you've had him on your podcast before. How
I've
did
had
how
him
did
on my
that
show.
happen? How do you get the king of blue fishing on your podcast?
Through another friend that connected us and said, Steve, you need to be on Ken's show. And Steve's freaking awesome, man. That was one of my very favorite interviews. But I've had John Lee Dumas, who's now, Facebook friends now with John Lee Dumas, number one podcaster in the world. I've had John on. I had John on Amazon Live. I'm an Amazon influencer now, and one of a handful of people that are authorized to go live on Amazon directly, and which is crazy. They reached out to me, and asked me. I'm like, and they pay me to do that. Like they pay me money to go live on Amazon and sell their stuff, sell products. So, again, and I'm not saying, dude, I swear I'm not saying any of this to brag in any way. It is a gift and a blessing, and I am unbelievably grateful for where I am today, because I've been homeless. I'm a recovered alcoholic with almost 19 years sober, and there was a time, dude, I've been homeless. I've slept in my car. I've been through it all, and so when I look at my life and I think, man, I am so blessed, all because I surrender to my ego as much as I can, and I go out of my way to help people.
Ken, I love that you're humble about it, because some people listen to this be like, wow, this guy's just bragging. But really you're not. I'm asking you questions about how you actually did what you've done, because I want other people to recognize that it's possible for them, that they can, like, listen to this, you can do things that are bigger than what you expected. And Ken, you haven't always been confident the entire time, right? Like the entire time you've been terrified about the process, but you still take action. How do you take action even though you're absolutely terrified through the entire process?
I interviewed a guy the other day named Judge Kenneth Starr, who was responsible for impeaching Bill Clinton. He served on Ronald Reagan's. He was in Ronald Reagan's camp and George H.W. Bush's camp, and this guy's like world famous, and I thought I was going to be, I mean, I was humbled and to have him on my show, but like, I really thought I thought I'm going to be really intimidated by, and I wasn't. I was really comfortable with this guy. And I think that when you start realizing, this is going to sound crazy, man, but I think about like every single person that I come in contact with. I don't care who it is, every single person goes to the bathroom. Like they go number two. Like, and you cannot, no matter how much money you have, no matter what level of stardom you've reached, nobody can look cool when they're taking a crap. So is that terrible? I'm sorry, but so it just kind of like makes me go, we're all human, man. I mean, every one of us. And I'm not saying, like, there are obviously there are lines you don't cross. One of my best friends in the world is Glenn Morshower, who's been an actor for 46 years, and he's starred in over 250 movies and TV shows. And he's a rock star. I mean, he is literally, and he's one of my best friends in the world. He's also a human being, and he has feelings, and he has thoughts, and he has, and he doesn't like to be hammered with a bunch of craziness, and with people reaching out asking for money and asking, like, you know you got to learn how to not cross the line. I don't even know if I'm in. What was your question, man? I feel like
Yeah,
I'm
the
missing
fear
the
thing.
question.
Like, how do you know? And I love that you're going into how these people think. Like somebody who's extremely successful is the same
Oh,
as anybody else. They
the
take a shit
fear.
every day, right? And
Yeah.
like that's so funny to me because I don't think about it enough. But I
Yeah.
want everybody who's listening to know that the next time I meet you in person, like you had better not be envisioning me on the toilet. Like I want you envisioning me on stage with like fire coming out of my hands.
Yeah. But
I'm
I
the
mean,
one person you don't get that with.
but it's true though, man. I mean, like look, at the end of the day, every single one of us has an expiration date. We
Yeah,
don't know the exact moment, but we're going to die, like
yeah,
every one of us. And again, no matter how wealthy you are, no matter what you've done in life, you're not going to look cool once you've taken your last breath.
yeah.
You're
No,
going to be dead. And everybody on this planet should be focused on, and again, I'm not trying, I'm this is just my opinion, take it for what it's worth, but we should be focused on how do we make this world a better place by each individual person that you meet. How can I make your life better? How can I make you feel better about the next breath you're going to take? That's
yeah.
what I live for. Like, how do I make you feel better about your life and what you're capable of accomplishing?
Ken, I love that. This is why we get along, man. This is why I enjoyed your mastermind. I'm on a mission to build 100 millionaires because you and I both know when you have money, it's easier to help other people. And it doesn't mean you don't start helping people like when you don't have money. In fact, the way to make money is you got to go help more people. It's a simple process.
It
Ken's been
is.
dropping bombs this entire time. Ken, I know that you offered the mastermind to me, and I know you've offered it to other high level players. People in the community are really at a whole other level. I just interviewed Larry, who is in the mastermind as well, and such a cool character. He sells the water, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
Kangen
Kangen.
water,
Yeah.
and like I was so interested in every single person in our mastermind.
Yeah.
The like what you've built is fantastic. I'm so thankful to be there. And like what is it you're working on? What's the easiest way for people to get in touch with you and figure out like how to get more Ken Walls in their life? Other than like obviously follow you on Facebook, right? Facebook
Yeah,
Live, you
right.
do it every day.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, kenwalls.com is my website. The mastermind. So I did a webinar a few weeks ago. And the mastermind is it's $49.97, so almost $5,000 for a lifetime license to the Grow Live Academy. But I ran a promo for $9.97 during the webinar. It's still available. I mean, it's still available. So it's available for the 997. That's a lifetime license of 100 and I don't even know 110 plus videos training on how to go live, how to broadcast to multiple platforms, how to use a platform called StreamYard, which helps you broadcast and sets up a studio for you. I am anti Zoom, just so you know. But but it's so there's all of the
We're not
training
going to judge you,
videos.
Ken. It's all right.
What's that?
We're not going to judge you.
Yeah, but it's all of that training and how to use social media and a lot of different advanced tools to expand your brand and your business. And then also it is the weekly mastermind call, which I have one tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern every single Thursday. And I've had some super celebrities on. You met last week Jeffrey Gitomer, who
Yep.
was on with us. I've had Craig Duswalt, who toured the world with Guns N' Roses. Craig's a
Rockstar
buddy of
marketing.
mine,
Yeah.
Rockstar Marketing. I've had Kyle Wilson on, he was Jim Rohn's business partner for 18 years. I've had, I've had some. Glenn Morshower's been in many, many times and taught and trained and shared his wisdom, and that man has such a beautiful heart. And like, I've just had some amazing people in and teach, their spin on whatever it is that people are struggling with. My mastermind is and it started out as a coaching program. It's a mastermind group because anybody that's a part of the Grow Live Academy can come on there and literally say, "Hey, I'm struggling with A, B, C, or D," and then we all talk about it and give them ideas and help build them up and take them to the next level. So it's a lot of fun. I love it. It's what I live for.
It's been huge, and I'm not an affiliate. I don't get paid for sending anybody to Ken, but I will say to you, Ken, that when I paid the $1,000, I got into the room, I thought, look, Ken's a killer. I know the people he has on the guest are killers, and I'm going to learn a lot just from the relationship with Ken. That's really why I bought it. It was the deepener for this relationship.
Yeah.
And then I got into the room and I noticed every single person on the call was a killer. Every person on the call was somebody who I wanted to run with, somebody I could grow with. And I told Darina right afterwards, I said, babe, like that mastermind was underpriced. I cannot believe the value that I am getting from this group, this community, the people I'm connecting with. It's such a powerful group, and the way you
Yeah.
deliver it, the way you set it up, the value add, I'm absolutely impressed. Like your
Thanks,
model
dude.
is the same model we subscribe to with Alchemist Nation: is add value, treat people with respect, get them moving forward. Ken,
Yeah.
I know that you're a giver. I know that you have the Alchemist mindset of give back, grow people.
Yeah.
If you could go back to 20-year-old Ken, like time travel back into time, go to your 20-year-old self and give yourself 3 pieces of advice that would move you forward so you could be happier, healthier, and more successful than you are today, faster. What 3 pieces of advice would you give yourself?
The biggest piece of advice I would give myself is, man, don't be so selfish. Like, I know that at 20 years old, and I don't know when it shifted for me, but you feel like the world revolves around you. You just do, and you also feel like you have all the answers. And I'll be 53 literally exactly 1 month from today. So July 17th, I'll be 53 years old. And the longer I live, the more I realize I don't know shit. I don't know anything, man. And so, I just like, if I could give my 20-year-old self any advice, it would be humble yourself, man. You don't know everything. And the other piece of advice, probably even bigger, is give more. Give more to other people. Give more to other people. If you're blessed, go bless somebody. And if you're alive, you're blessed. If you're living, you are blessed. And it's your responsibility to help other people. The third thing, man, take care of your body. Take care of it. Like, don't abuse your body. You're going to anyway, but no matter what I say, because again, at 20 years old, you know everything. You're not interested in listening. I remember looking at 50-year-olds thinking, you are old as dirt, man. What the heck you telling me, you old man? Like, don't tell me what to do. But you don't, it changes, man. Because one day you'll be that old man. You'll think, man, I was such a little a-hole.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I
you
can
know,
relate to that already. I look back at my 20-year-old self and I'm like, dude, it's embarrassing. That guy was
right.
a totally different person.
Yeah, I mean but we all have to go through it. I think, and one last thing is this, and this might be the biggest. put the ball bat down and stop beating yourself up for the crap that you've done wrong. Like, we have all been through it. Every single person on this planet, I don't care who they are, how successful they become, they've made massive, massive mistakes in life. Massive. So put the ball bat down. Don't beat yourself up. Do better. Just do better. Do everything you can to be a better person and improve. And along the way, you're going to screw up again, and just keep adjusting the sails, man.
I love that. Ken, you are an alchemist. You have the mindset of growth. You're looking to help other people. One more time, if people want to get in touch with you or find out more about what you're doing, it's kenwalls.com. And if you're listening right now and you've gotten value from what Ken has said, then I want you to go to iTunes, write a good review. It helps get the iTunes ratings so that people can see it. So if you have a good experience listening to these podcasts and you want others to share and have that same experience, just know that the way you write your review is going to attract people just like you. So if you're a good person and you want more for other people, go and write a review. It's the best thing you can do to help spread this message of wealth, abundance, and mindset. Ken Walls, cheers to your success. When you have a choice, always work with the best. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. I appreciate you.